You're watching WKYT News at noon.
Good afternoon. The news continues at 12:30. I'm Barbara Bailey with Bill Bryant. Saying he just didn't have the votes or the momentum to win, Kentucky U.S. Senator Rand Paul announced this morning he's suspending his campaign for president.
The Republican is fresh off a fifth-place finish in the Iowa caucus. But in New Hampshire, the next state to hold a nominating contest, Senator Paul was only polling at 3%. In a taping for WKYT's Kentucky Newsmakers this morning, the Bowling Green Republican told me that he has mixed emotions about today's announcement. That's our top story at 12:30. Is this day for you somewhat of a relief because you can now focus on your campaign back at home, or is this a day of disappointment to you personally?
Well, you know, a little bit of both. Obviously, I wouldn't have done this if I didn't think I had something to offer, if I didn't think that I would have made a great president. But you have to listen to the voters and really decide what happens based on what happens with voting. And so, but I am excited to spend more time at home. I will enjoy being able to mow my grass a little bit more and tinker around in the yard. Also, will enjoy spending more time, you know, one-on-one with people.
Senator Paul says he will continue to voice his same message of advocating for a balanced budget and fighting for Kentucky jobs during his Senate re-election campaign. Senator Paul's name will remain on the ballot for the March 5th presidential caucus that will be held in Kentucky. He will face two challengers in the May primary for the U.S. Senate. Other news now, overnight storms brought us some heavy rain through here.
Many communities experienced flash flooding, including Powell County. As WKYT's Michelle Chamberlain shows us, the weather made it a challenge for students to get to school this morning.
When you drive through the county right now, you wouldn't know there were any issues with flooding, but early this morning, flash flooding caused Powell County to delay school for 2 hours. There were certain areas blocked by debris and standing water. One parent told me some roads were in bad shape this morning around the time school was set to begin. He said there was gravel, limbs, leaves, and swift moving water making for unsafe roadways. Most of the people impacted were near Adams Ridge, along with a few other highly traveled roads. For this reason, the county felt out of the safety of its children, it was best that they have a 2-hour delay. Powell County Judge Executive James Anderson Jr. says flash flooding is something they're used to dealing with here in Powell County.
We're always aware of our trouble areas and what we need to do to be prepared, and I think it's kind of a way of life around here, and we've adjusted and are able to adequately handle the situations most all the time.
Anderson tells me for now everything is back to normal in the county. In Powell County, Michelle Chamberlain, WKYT.
Flooding highway.
Let me pick up here. Your mic's off there, Barb. The Boyd County Sheriff's Department shared pictures of an SUV, you can see it there, that was stuck in the waters. You want to see if that mic is ready to go now? No? All right. High waters also led to overnight in Nelson County. The Nelson County Gazette says both on Whitesides Road there. Firefighters say the first person called said that he was standing in knee-deep water in his garage, and his 4 children were in the home sleeping. The second call came from someone who was already out of their home when crews arrived. No one was hurt. Everyone has been allowed back into their homes. An accident involving a bus injured a person this morning. Bath County dispatchers say that bus hit a tree limb while backing up on Ellis Branch Road. It caused a window to break, and the glass caused one minor injury. No one was taken to the hospital as a result. Indicted a man in a Lexington teenager's murder. Police say Terry Farrell robbed and shot Jamal Gossett on Kent Drive in November. We're told that Gossett went to meet Farrell to buy a small amount of marijuana. Farrell was indicted on murder and robbery charges. A trial date has been set for a Boyle County woman accused of killing her 3-year-old step-granddaughter. The Advocate Messenger reports that Shyla Rayleigh will be tried beginning on September 19th. The little girl died in June of 2014. Police say she suffered blunt force trauma to her abdomen while in Rayleigh's care. Police have arrested a wanted man out of Louisville here in Lexington. Louisville police say DeMontrez Floyd shot 2 people in a car last April. He was also wanted for an attempted murder in May of 2014. He is in the Fayette County Jail. It's a push to help those who can't help themselves. Today, animal advocates gathered at the state capitol to ask lawmakers to remember Kentucky's 4-legged friends. WKYT's Caitlin Sentner now joining us from the rally in a story new at 12:30.
Kentucky ranks last in the nation for animal laws, and many aren't just going to stand by and let that happen. Animal rights supporters rallied in Frankfort today, hoping their voices are heard loud and clear. The State House rotunda filled Wednesday morning with animal rights supporters and some furry friends. It was all to bring awareness to how those furry friends are treated. There are a number of House and Senate bills addressing dangers to animals and cruelty of animals, but activists want to make sure the bills continue to move forward. Many use the word embarrassing to describe Kentucky's current animal laws or the lack thereof.
I mean, everything from dog fighting, cockfighting, neglect. I mean, there are a lot of issues we have, and we need it addressed at all levels.
Animal rights supporters say they hope Kentucky wouldn't want to be last in anything. In Frankfort, Caitlin Sentner, WKYT.
Now, the Humane Society wants Kentuckians to call their lawmakers and ask for support of animal rights bills.
Home Depot is putting up the Help Wanted sign. With spring just around the corner, the chain is planning to hire 80,000 seasonal workers. That breaks down to about 40 to 45 employees per store. Home Depot has 2 locations in Lexington, one on Richmond Road and one on Harrodsburg Road. Hope you stay with us now. The years before being diagnosed with Parkinson's could be especially dangerous for people.
Also, could certain drugs actually cause Alzheimer's? Better Living is ahead on WKYT.
Looking across the way, really nice temperatures the rest of the afternoon. Then we go off into the night and into tomorrow. Here comes that cold air. I'll talk all about that coming up next.
Set a date with The Talk 5 days a week.
Here we go.
From Major Mondays
I'm pregnant.
to Fearless Fridays. Make an appointment
I'm just going to the ladies' room. This is live television.
to share your weekdays with The Talk
Does anyone have the flu?
on CBS.
This President's Day, it's all about choices at the Burke Furniture President's Day sale. Get the special order bedroom you want in 21 days with Von Bassett Furniture.
That's incredible.
It's all at the Burke Furniture President's Day sale, going on now.
Up to now, affording a beautiful smile has been, well, sketchy. Doctors Durbin, Walks, and Garner are offering an unheard of offer. No down payment and only $175 for 24 months on orthodontic treatment. Learn more at clearchoicesmile.com.
After you're injured at work, a lot of times the insurance company will attempt to call you, take statements. Don't speak to them until you speak with an experienced workers' compensation attorney.
The insurance company will attempt to settle your case for pennies on the dollar. Before you talk to the insurance company, call us first.
Our job is to make sure you get all the money you deserve.
Call Morgan, Collins, and Yeast. 1-800-55-WILDCAT.
Hey Joe, how you doing with your new hearing aids?
Hey Marty, they're great. I just wish I'd done it sooner.
If you play the TV too loudly, or if listening in some situations has become difficult, you're needed to participate in a special program called the 10-Day Challenge. You'll receive a complete hearing test and evaluation absolutely free.
Come on and be one of the 100 participants and take the 10-Day Challenge.
Hearing Solutions, helping you listen to what you're missing.
We know they're a great value, but to see if Malt-O-Meal cereal tastes as good as they claim, we have assembled a panel of experts. Spoons are up, they're mid-crunch, and full thumbs! Malt-O-Meal cereal, thumbs up on great taste.
This President's Day, it's all about choices at the Burke Furniture President's Day sale. Get the special order bedroom you want in 21 days with Von Bassett Furniture.
That's incredible.
It's all at the Burke Furniture President's Day sale, going on now.
Stay connected to the news that matters to you. Follow WKYT on Twitter. Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
We'll be looking across the way and seeing that front push all the way through, and now the rain's long gone, but still some clouds are left over, and we're going to be holding on to those clouds as we track throughout the rest of the afternoon. Do not expect anything to fall out of the clouds. Things are looking pretty good. Those winds will start cranking in from the northwest here overnight and into tomorrow, and that's going to cause our temperatures to drop off big time. It's a beautiful day, don't get me wrong. Still a few clouds once again left over. Those winds cranking in from the southwest now, but they'll switch over and come in from the northwest going throughout the next several hours. And what that's going to do, these temperatures are amazing. I mean, we're talking about temperatures in the mid to upper 50s, even a 61-degree reading there in Richmond. That is a great feel, but that chilly air is knocking on our doorstep. We go off into the night and into tomorrow. That's going to change big time with those temperatures. We'll see a decent evening at about 49 degrees, but after 8 p.m., I'd say right around midnight, you'll really start to feel that chill in the air, and you'll really start to feel that cold air rushing in with those winds cranking up and kind of just switching directions. So the rest of the day, you got to love it. 54 degrees, very pleasant day, mid to upper 50s, that is. And then the mild air gets pushed out. Watch this. Okay, so the front rolls through. Here comes the chilly air. Very cool for tomorrow. So we're talking about the 30s for tomorrow. That's your afternoon high, starting off in the 20s, and maybe even a few flurries here and there. Nothing's going to cause you any problems. I promise you that. We go off towards your Friday and into your weekend, and that gets a little bit better. We're talking about a very dry weekend, and also those temperatures hovering there in the mid to upper 40s. So a good-looking weekend in store, and it's one of those weekends you just better enjoy it, because then we hit Monday off into Tuesday. Totally different story. The bottom drops out next week. There's a big shot of cold air sliding on in. There is a 100% chance that we actually see cold air pretty much all week long next week. Big shot of cold air that's not going to move anytime soon as winter fights right back. After spending a couple of days in pretty decent conditions. We're at 56 the rest of the afternoon. 34 tomorrow. That's for your high, not your low, with a couple of flurries. Friday, Saturday, Sunday look great. Then Monday and Tuesday, guys, not only are we looking at that cold air, but any type of moisture that flies through the region is going to follow snow. However, don't expect a lot of it. Now, you know around here you get an inch or two and you're still causing some problems, but it's better than a foot or two.
You're right.
We know that.
Agree wholeheartedly, yes.
Attest to that, okay? Maybe not the 2 feet,
Yeah.
but, you know, a foot.
I had thought the groundhog had ruled all that out, but I guess not, huh?
It's going to keep going up and down.
Yeah, he was a little confused.
Still winter for a while. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. Parkinson's disease may bring risk years before the diagnosis, and the latest findings on whether certain drugs may cause Alzheimer's.
Brian Webb has details in this Better Living report.
Drugs used to treat anxiety and insomnia are not linked to an increased risk of dementia. That's the finding of the newest research on tranquilizers such as Valium and Xanax. A study in the BMJ found no association with dementia, but it recommends that doctors avoid these drugs for senior citizens to prevent other health risks. More than 3 million women in the U.S. are at risk of drinking while pregnant. The Centers for Disease Control says that's because women are drinking while they're not using birth control and sometimes even while they're trying to get pregnant. Alcohol during even the first weeks of pregnancy can cause long-lasting physical and intellectual disabilities. Parkinson's patients may be at higher risk for falling and hip fractures for years before being diagnosed. Researchers in Sweden studied more than 24,000 patients. They found that in the 15 years before diagnosis, Parkinson's disease was associated with a 36% higher risk of hip fracture. Those are some of the day's top health stories. Brian Webb for CBS News, New York.
Well, do you immediately pull over when you hear emergency sirens?
Well, you should. That's what we're going to find out. Important information from the Lexington Fire Department coming up after the break on WKYT.
You've just been in a car wreck, worried about car repairs and medical bills. I'm attorney Darryl Isaacs. Just call me after you've been hurt in a car wreck, and I'll work hard to get you the money you deserve.
There's a way to go down 2553000.
I wasn't too thrilled about dentures, but I need to be able to chew. So I called Aspen Dental. They got me right in because my visit was long overdue. And no one on staff even made me feel bad that I hadn't been in since the leg warmer fad. My new dentures came with a great guarantee, so this giant pretzel's got nothing on me.
With dentures starting at $3.99 and a money-back guarantee, dentistry's never been easier. Call 1-800-ASPEN-DENTAL.
Home security can be easier than you think. Whether you're a first-time customer or you're unhappy with your current service, Bates simplifies security and makes switching your service to Bates easy. You keep your existing equipment and we do the rest. Switch your system today and get 3 months free monitoring. Recently named Central Kentucky Small Business of the Year.
Bates Security, protecting what matters most.
We're walking the streets delivering a simple message. Where there's smoke, there could be fire.
This is the start of a 5-year program with our partner, Kentucky Power, to install smoke detectors in local neighborhoods.
The smoke alarms are free. The only thing we ask is they let us show them how to use them.
Doesn't matter how cold it is outside, how early they got up that morning, or how far they've walked, they know that they've possibly saved a life.
We may be a power company, but the true power in our communities comes from our people.
Sleep is a critical component of our athletic training at UK.
Our sleep experts are the champions at matching our customers to the best bed for them.
This week at Sleep Outfitters, get a free TV with qualifying purchase, like this Sealy Pillow Top Queen Set with gel foam, now only $4.99, plus a free TV. Go to sleepoutfitters.com for store locations and hours.
Sleep Outfitters, official sleep provider of UK athletics. Sleep like a champion, play like a champion.
Man, these wings look good.
Yeah, this spicy honey barbecue sauce is so good, it'll change your life.
Sir, it looks like we're leading in the polls.
You're running for president?
Don't answer that.
Life-changing? Maybe. Indescribably good? Definitely. The boneless wings meal with spicy honey barbecue sauce, served with crinkle fries and a small drink. Zaxby's. Indescribably good.
This is a black box from an 18-wheeler truck. This box can tell investigators information and if he has obeyed the trucking law. If you've been hurt by a truck, call me, Attorney Darrell Isaacs.
Call me now, there's a way to go down to 553-0000.
Welcome back. So good to have you along on WKYT. When you see the lights, pull to the right. That's the message that drivers from the Lexington Fire Department want you to know about.
They want you to understand that that's very important. Firefighters Jessica Bowman and Todd Holman are here with the important safety message. Thanks very much for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us. You know, this is something that people really need to know about or discuss. I mean, you hear the sirens, you know something's coming. So many people just kind of panic and get all over the road or stop in their tracks. What is a driver's responsibility?
Well, the KRS 189-930 it's against the law to not yield to the right of way for us. But also, it's kind of a partnership between us and them. We have to have due regard for everyone's safety. We want to arrive safely to an incident. We also want to transport patients safely to the hospital. But we also want to make sure that the citizens are safe. So pull to the right, stop for a second, let us go by, and then sometimes you might actually have to go to the left. And there's some footage that shows where we're transporting to the hospital here. Some people indicate a turn signal is a great thing to use. If you use a turn signal, it kind of gives us an indication of your intentions. And sometimes we even have to go on the wrong side of the road. But as you can see, we slow down and make sure it's safe for everybody.
Boy, it's a different viewpoint when you see it like that. When is a first responder exempt from abiding by the speed limit?
Anytime that we are responding to an emergency run, anytime an ambulance is transporting someone to the hospital, both would be circumstances where they could be exempt from the speed limit. But like Todd mentioned, we still have to act with due regard for the other people on the road. So we can't just blow through intersections, drive as fast as we want. We have to consider the safety of the other motorists on the road and drive accordingly.
Another question that I'm sure a lot of people have, if a loved one is being transported by ambulance to the hospital, is it okay to speed up and follow them along?
Absolutely not. It's against the law. The other thing is it's not going to help the patient get there any quicker, and that's the ultimate goal. We want to get the patient safely to the hospital. We also want to be mindful of that people that are following us, people don't see us all the time. So you're not going to see them at all, and they're going to be endangered and possibly become a patient themselves and then now we have to stop, and it's going to slow them down.
This is so crucial. How does it make you feel when you see somebody not paying attention to this, a driver who doesn't pull over?
Right. Well, and that's why we're here today, to get that message out, because last year we made roughly 40,000 runs. So the likelihood of someone encountering a fire truck or an ambulance is pretty high in Fayette County, and we average about 110 runs a day. So just to let people know, and they don't even have to yield to the right, but just to see what the other motorists are doing and to act in kind. So if everyone's going to the left, then go to the left, and just create that alleyway for us to get through.
Yeah, really is teamwork. The mayor's office has declared this Friday as Firefighter Appreciation Day. Well deserved, and
thank you.
Congratulations on that special day.
We appreciate that, Mayor Gray and Councilmember Jennifer Masadi, for making it Firefighter Appreciation Day. So thank you.
And thank you for coming in.
We appreciate you all year long.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Well, if you're a woman looking to get ahead in your career, here's a great networking opportunity.
Tell you about it, how you can be a part of Women Leading Kentucky. Coming up next on WKYT.
Hello everyone, Amber Canoy here from MomsEveryday.com. Jackie Hulsey, a nurse with Passport Health Plan, is with us today, and I'm curious, postpartum care, why is it so critical?
Well, it's really important because even after you deliver your baby, if you're feeling healthy, you want to go back to the doctor just to make sure that your body is healing. You're still at risk for complications during that time. So it's really important to get to that 6-week appointment. Also, you're going to want to check, your doctor's not only checking your physical health, but also your mental and emotional well-being. A lot of moms really could struggle with postpartum depression. It's always a risk with every pregnancy. During this time, you're also going to want to make sure that you're talking with your doctor about any plans that you have for the future regarding birth planning and even getting on contraception in between, so you're waiting that 18-month period between pregnancies.
So it sounds like that 6-week postpartum visit really isn't an option, it's a must.
It is a must, absolutely.
All right, for more information, you all can go online to momseveryday.com.
This Valentine's Day, if you send your guy to Kay's, you will be wearing much smaller diamonds.
Kay's 5th carat diamond earrings are $249. The Castle's 1/3 carat diamond earrings are the same price.
You don't have to wear smaller diamonds.
Shop 10 Castle locations.
Meet the Moores. We're the Moore family, and as you can see, we needed internet that could do more.
We do more games.
And more streaming.
So we need more speed.
That's why we switched to Time Warner Cable.
Now we can connect more devices at the same time.
Hi, Grandma and Grandpa.
Look at that!
Time Warner Cable even has an internet plan for us.
Get the speed you need. Internet plans start as low as $14.99 per month. Call 1-855-WANT-TWC.
When I'm lucky enough to meet you out in public, the question I'm most often asked is, what is Emma up to? So let me tell you. As usual, she stays busy investigating accident scenes, sniffing out evidence, and solving cases. But recently, she became a big sister. Meet Molly. Emma loves Molly. She doesn't know if she's her kid's sister or daughter. Unfortunately, she sometimes thinks she's the baby. When you write Emma, she'll write you back. Morgan & Morgan, for our dogs.
Come get some real slow-smoked pork at Sonny's Barbecue. Both pulled and sliced pork with sides and bread for $9.99, or with a redneck egg roll for $11.99. Sonny's Barbecue. Local pit masters since '68.
Think you might be pregnant? No judgment, no pressure, just help. AssuranceCare.org.
Give us 5 minutes to make your life easier. MomsEveryday.com.
This Valentine's Day,
Shop the Castle.
Get your Valentine a real rose hand-painted and dipped in 24 karat gold. Castle price only $39. Heartbeat diamond necklaces start at $59. This Valentine's Day, shop 10 Castle locations or thecastlejewelry.com.
Get WKYT news and weather updates on News Radio 630 WLAP.
Welcome back. The name says it all. Women Leading Kentucky. The nonprofit organization is helping encourage and inspire women across the state.
To talk more about it, we're joined by Carol Seiler, who is Executive Director of Women Leading Kentucky, along with the Assistant Director, Sonia Boniface. Good to see both of you. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
For having us. If people haven't been involved in this group before, what can they expect at the Roundtable Networking Luncheons?
Well, they can expect to be greeted by a lot of other friendly women who they can network with, and if you're just starting out in business, even if you've been in business for a long time, you will be greeted and welcomed by everyone there, and you'll make new friends and hear from a great speaker, and it's just a wonderful afternoon.
We also have about 2 to 3 exhibitors that are present there, and so you get to shop a little bit oftentimes. Women love that. So.
Sounds like a great afternoon, really.
Hey, what is the feedback you get from women who are involved? Do they say that this is a real opportunity for them and empowering for them?
Absolutely. Some women have come back and even told us that they've gotten job opportunities as a result of this. The network that they've gotten, they've made lasting friendships and business opportunities for them.
So this is a new season here, and you have the annual Women's Business and Leadership Conference coming up this spring. What can people expect?
Well, it'll be May 5th at the Marriott Griffin Gate, and people can expect to hear it. Once again, we get a national speaker for this event, and the speaker for this one is Tiffany Dufu, and she is the founder of an organization called Levo, which helps young women find mentors nationwide, and some are even worldwide, depending on what you're doing. And then we are working with another speaker that I can't say right now, so you'll have to stay tuned in for that one. And then they will have a lunch. It's Martha Lane Collins Leadership Awards luncheon, where we will honor women who are outstanding in their leadership throughout the state. And we'll have that for lunch, and then we have a lot of networking opportunities at that as well.
Well, Governor Collins continues to inspire, that she has for so many years. If people want more information about your events, maybe to join or to network in this way, how do they find out?
They go to womenleadingky.com and they can sign up on for our newsletter through the website, and we'll add them to that so they can see upcoming events that we have.
And you do have events, luncheons coming up March 10th and the 31st that people can take part in.
The February 10th is sold out.
And one other thing, we're a non-membership organization, so if you do want to attend our events, all you have to do is register and come.
Very good.
Well, it's easy enough.
All right.
Yeah. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Appreciate it very much. Well, we had considerable rain this morning. We've seen those high water issues in some areas that have been lingering.
That's right. Micah, what about the rest of the afternoon?
I think the rest of the afternoon looks fantastic. We're going to be seeing temperatures drop just a bit, just a few degrees. But we'll finish off mid to upper 50s when it's all said and done. And then once we track off into the evening, you're heading out to dinner or whatever it may be, the kids have some sports to go to and knock that out. Pretty decent evening, upper 40s to around 50. So we'll take that. Dry conditions now, but overnight and into tomorrow, guys. Chris Bailey is going to be in here at 4 p.m. He's going to talk about this cold air filtering on in and how long it's going to last, and also a little snow in the forecast. So I'll have that at 4.
All right.
Always a change in Kentucky weather, you know.
Right.
Thank you for joining us for WKYT News at noon.
Your news always on at WKYT.com.